What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve. Thank you for joining us. And as things start to open up now, little by little, it only seems appropriate that we keep talking about summer sneakers because summer is already here. It's going to be July soon. And before we know it, like all summers, it's going to end quicker than we want it to. So I'm excited to talk about a pair of sneakers today. I've never actually owned this model of Nike sneaker ever in my life. And I can't say I was initially drawn to it as far as its silhouette and its shape, but the colorway that it came in recently really caught my eye, and I thought to myself, if there's a time to give it a chance, it's right now. Today we are talking about the Nike Skyforce 3/4 in the white, university red, and racer blue colorway. Take a closer look. Alright guys, welcome back, and if you see my previous video on the Blazers mid 77s, then you're going to see a lot of aesthetic similarities between that shoe and this one right here. They were both released at the same time via the Nike Sneakers app, so they're kind of a collection, if you will, and they both feature an all leather white upper. They both feature the swooshes done in university red and racer blue with the reptile print on it, but they do differ in terms of silhouette and fit. And really, the Skyforce brings to mind another very popular Nike shoe that has endured throughout the decades. I think you know what I'm talking about, especially when you look at it from this angle. This really looks a lot like an Air Force One, and the name is also very similar, Skyforce, Air Force. It's kind of like Nike wanted to make a bootleg version of their own shoe, but that's not really the case. This shoe is a basketball sneaker from the 80s, and it was very popular back then. It kind of morphed into a streetwear staple later down the line, but the Air Force was the one that really got popular with the culture. So this one kind of took to the back burner and would kind of be, you know, in and out of people's consciousness here and there. In my opinion, I mean, I almost don't see the point of this shoe if we have Air Force Ones, though I do appreciate that it tweaks some of the proportions of what an Air Force One is. This definitely doesn't have the chunkier feel that Air Force Ones do, and I will say that with this particular model, I absolutely love this milky, semi-translucent outsole. It looks fantastic. Now the toe box looks very Air Force One-esque to me. It is what it is. Not a big fan of that. What I do like is they included these very nice, higher-end feeling woven shoelaces with the copper tips at the end of the laces, just like you get with the Blazer mid 77s. Now, unlike the Blazers, you don't get the deconstructed tongue. This is a just nicely finished tongue, and honestly, I think that's the right way to go. The Blazers, the deconstructed tongue is part of that shoe. This one, definitely more in line with the Air Force, so it should have a more finished look to it, especially considering that the tongue is leather. So you got leather on leather. Overall, the quality of the leather is fine to me. I don't have any complaints there. I just think for my eye, the proportions are just kind of so-so. It doesn't really strike me as a shoe from a visual standpoint. Now, from a wearability standpoint, it's going to be a great shoe to wear around in the summer. It's got a lower cut, it's going to be more comfortable. You've got the nice Nike branding with the block letters in the back. You've got a very chunky rubber outsole with a little bit of air going through there, I'm pretty sure. So overall, from a comfort perspective, this shoe is definitely more comfortable than the Blazers because those were a little too narrow for me. But that brings us to my biggest gripe with this particular pair, and I should say this exact pair that I'm holding in my hands, and that's that they came kind of damaged. This pair in particular has a little bit of a discoloration right here on the heel, and you can't, it's underneath. You can't like clean that off or get rid of it. And there's also a pretty big cut mark back here near the heel right under the blue swoosh. And those are the types of things that, like, you know guys, Nike is a big company. They make a lot of money, and deservedly so. They make fantastic shoes. But whether you are paying $110 or $90 or $400 for a pair of Adapts, you better hold Nike accountable to their quality standards. If the shoe is not up to your eye test in quality, send it back. Seriously, get your money back. Now, if it's a seriously hyped pair that you can still flip for a pretty penny, then flip it and get rid of it and let the buyer know that there are flaws, of course. Don't try to screw anybody over. But for a pair like this that is a relatively easier to get pair, I'm sending these back to Nike because I want to get the sole messed up. That's not their job, that's my job. I want to mess up the sole. I want to scratch the upper. I don't appreciate a shoe coming that way. And unfortunately it happens. It's not like I'm upset. I'm just gonna send it back and hopefully get my hands on a different pair. But if you're a fan of Air Force Ones, if you rock those all the time, I can see how this suits your eye and you might be into this, especially if you want to stand out a little bit, have something a little different than what everybody else is wearing. I know white Air Forces have become like a staple from everybody from like grown men to 14-year-old girls. Everywhere you look, you're going to see white Air Forces throughout the summer. So this is a nice alternative with the milky outsole, with the red and blue swooshes, and overall aesthetically, I think this shoe is kind of a punch above the Air Force One in terms of style, and of course, it's rarer to see. So anything that you don't see as much, you might just like more. It's kind of like an exotic car in that instance. But that does it for me, guys, on this for the Nike Skyforce 3/4, a 80s basketball shoe that has been reborn as a streetwear sneaker. And overall, I like the aesthetics and the look of it, but not enough to really covet it. And with these damaged or flaws that are on here, I gotta send this particular pair back. But if you're a fan of Air Forces, if you're a fan of low-cut summer sneakers just like this one, it's a great sneaker to consider and chase. Fits true to size. I think overall, you'll be happy with how this shoe serves you over the course of a summer or two if you keep it clean. So, that being said, please consider hitting the like and subscribe and joining me in the family. We hit 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers now. It's crazy to say, but I thought 1,000 was gonna be, impossible at one point. So we're here. So we're tacking on another 0, and I hope you'll consider joining me on the journey to 10,000 subscribers. Hit the bell so you're notified when the next sneaker drops, and drop a comment letting me know what you think about these sneakers down below. I respond to all the comments. I sincerely appreciate your likes, comments, and subscriptions. It means the world to me, really, guys, it does. So please consider doing that, and I hope you have a good day, good evening, good night, whenever you are watching this, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.